What a wonderful day, Grade 8! Welcome back to my channel. For today's video lesson in MAPA, we're focusing on PE and health. For Quarter 2, Weeks 1 and 2. If you're new to my class, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of our exciting lessons. Now let's dive into what we'll be learning today. Our learning competencies are to discuss the characteristics of friendships, long-term commitments, marriage, and parenting. To evaluate the different ways we can show affection in relationships. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the characteristics of friendships, commitments, marriage, and parenting. Explain the importance of these relationships in our personal and social development. Differentiate the forms of affection shown in different relationships. Evaluate which ways of showing affection are appropriate or inappropriate, while respecting personal boundaries and asking for consent. And most importantly, demonstrate how to express care and affection in healthy, respectful, and positive ways. In this video, we'll talk about the characteristics of friendships, long-term commitments, marriage, and parenting, which are based on love, trust, and respect, and appropriate ways to show affection while respecting personal boundaries and always asking for consent. Are you ready to explore how relationships shape us and how we can build healthy connections with others? Let's get started. Let's kick things off with our very first activity. We'll have a short review to warm up your minds. This is an identification activity. All you need to do is identify what is being asked in each item. Are you ready? Let's go! Now, let's reflect on a meaningful quote. Listen carefully. Happily ever after is not a fairy tale. What does this quote mean to you? Take a moment to think, then share your own interpretation. After sharing your ideas, let me ask you two important questions. How can we choose the right person for us? And how can we be the right person for someone else? Share your answers to the class or write them down in our comment section. Let's now move on to unlocking content vocabulary. First word, boundaries. Boundaries are healthy limits, agreements, and personal space that help both partners feel respected, valued, and safe in the relationship. In simple terms, boundaries remind us that while we care for someone, we also need to respect their comfort, privacy, and choices. Second word, commitment. Commitment means the decision and dedication to stay with your spouse through ups and downs. It's about loyalty, faithfulness, and making choices that protect and strengthen the marriage. In other words, commitment is not just about feelings. It's about actions and promises we keep to make relationships last. Subtopic 1. Characteristics of friendship and long-term commitment. Friendship is built on love, trust, honesty, support, and respect. Long-term commitment, like marriage or strong partnerships, goes further. It means loyalty, responsibility, and choosing to stay together through ups and downs. Both relationships grow stronger when there is trust, respect, and dedication. So stay seated, listen carefully, and get ready as we explore this topic together. Let's have a picture analysis activity. Look closely at the pictures shown on the screen. What do you see? How would you describe the people and their actions? Share what you observe in the pictures. Think about their expressions, the way they interact, and what they might be feeling. As we gather your answers, notice the common idea that connects them all. That's right. The concept we are highlighting here is friends. Friendship is a special relationship between two or more people who care about each other and enjoy spending time together. It is a bond built on trust, mutual respect, and support. Remember, friendship is also a choice. We usually choose friends because we share similar interests, values, or hobbies. It can be difficult to build a strong friendship with people we have nothing in common with because we may not enjoy the same things or feel happy together. That's why shared experiences and interests help strengthen friendships. Long-term commitment, on the other hand, is a relationship that lasts over a long period of time and is expected to continue in the future. Most of the time, this involves a romantic partnership where two people choose each other every single day. Commitment means staying together, facing challenges, and supporting each other as life goes on. Characteristics of friendship and long-term commitment. Love. You genuinely care for one another. You are there in their happiest moments and even during their most difficult times. You share emotions, support each other, and grow stronger together, even when challenges come. Trust means believing in your friend and knowing that they will not betray you. It is sharing secrets and feelings without fear, because you are confident they will support you in both good and bad times. Trust also means standing by each other during challenges and proving through actions that you can always be relied on. Respect means valuing your friend as a person and recognizing their worth. It is about keeping their secrets, not turning your back on them, and treating them with kindness even when misunderstandings happen. Respect also includes setting healthy boundaries and honoring each other's dignity, because real respect goes beyond words. It shows in the way we act. Guided activity. For this activity, you will identify if the given scenario shows the characteristics of friendship and long-term commitment. Here are the instructions. If the scenario is showing friendship or long-term commitment, draw a happy face. If it is not, draw a sad face and write a short explanation of your answer. Take your time to think carefully about each situation before answering. Activity 1. Circle of Friends. By the end of this activity, you should be able to identify what you want in a friend and assess yourself if you are a good friend or not. Part A. Draw several boxes on your paper. Inside each box, write one characteristic that you want in a friend. For example, honest, supportive, trustworthy, or fun to be with. Part B. After filling out the boxes, answer the following questions. Do you think of someone while filling out the boxes above? Who? This question asks if you remembered a specific person, like a classmate, cousin, or best friend, while writing the qualities. Share who that person is and why they came to your mind. Which characteristic that you wrote do you think is the most important? Why? Choose one quality from your boxes that you value the most in a friend and explain why it stands out as the most important for you. Do you have the characteristics you wrote in Part A? Why or why not? Give examples. Reflect on yourself honestly. Do you also practice the same qualities that you expect from a friend? Give situations or examples to support your answer. Subtopic 2. Characteristics of marriage and parenting. Marriage and parenting are important long-term commitments that shape families and communities. Both require dedication, teamwork, and a deep sense of responsibility to make relationships healthy and lasting. Now, we are going to watch a short film. This video will help us understand more about the characteristics of marriage and parenting. Click the link. As you watch, pay close attention to the examples and situations shown. Think about these questions. What values do you see in marriage and parenting? How do love, trust, and responsibility appear in the film? After the video, we'll talk about your insights and connect them to our lesson. Discussion time. Marriage is a legally and socially sanctioned union. It is the union of two people who are financially, physically, and emotionally ready to start a family of their own. In simple words, marriage is a promise, a commitment of two people to share life together. Why do you think it's important for couples to be ready, not only financially, but also emotionally and physically before they get married? Characteristics of marriage. Marriage is a bond between two people in love. Married couples share rights and responsibilities, support each other, and usually start a family. Parenting means having your own children. Your responsibility is to provide their needs like food, shelter, and education. Being a parent is more than just raising kids. It's about guiding them for life. Characteristics of parenting. Parenting means providing needs, but also love, guidance, and respect. Parents must understand each stage of a child's growth and show that they can be trusted, so children grow up with confidence and values. How did your parents or guardians show you love when you were younger? What do you think makes children trust their parents? Activity 2. That's my family. Now that we've learned about marriage and parenting, let's connect it to our own families. This activity will help you reflect on how love, trust, and respect are shown at home, and how you might apply these values in your future family. Instructions. Think about your own experiences, then complete the sentences below. Write this in your notebook. Be honest and reflective. Subtopic 3. Appropriate ways to show affection. Respecting personal boundaries. Affection is a beautiful way of showing care, but we need to remember, everyone has different comfort levels. That's why it's important to respect boundaries. Have you heard about the 5 love languages? According to Dr. Gary Chapman, people express and receive love in different ways. Let's take a look at this picture. These love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and receiving gifts. Each one represents a unique way of showing and receiving affection. Explaining each love language with boundaries. Now, let's go through them one by one and see how respecting boundaries is very important. Words of affirmation. Some people feel loved when they hear encouraging words like, "I'm proud of you," or "You did great." But others may not be comfortable with too much flattery. Acts of service. Helping someone with schoolwork or chores can be a way of showing care. But if the person doesn't want help, we should respect that too. Physical touch. Hugs, handshakes, or pats on the back are ways of showing affection. But we must always ask or check if the person is comfortable first. Consent is very important. Quality time. Spending time together can make someone feel valued. But remember, some people also need personal space, and that's okay. Receiving gifts. Giving small gifts can make people feel appreciated. But we should remember, gifts don't always mean love, and not everyone is comfortable receiving them. Now, I want you to think, which of these love languages do you like the most, and which ones don't make you feel comfortable? This will help you understand your own boundaries and respect the boundaries of others. Answer the following questions in your notebook. Personal boundaries. Personal boundaries are the limits we set for ourselves and for other people. These limits depend on what makes us feel safe and comfortable when we are around others. Determining your own personal boundaries. It is very important to determine your own personal boundaries and let other people, especially those who are close to you, be aware of them. Personal boundaries can include different aspects such as emotional boundaries, protecting your feelings and emotional well-being. Physical boundaries, protecting your personal space and body. Sexual boundaries, protecting your needs, safety, and consent. Workplace boundaries, protecting your ability to work without distractions or conflicts. Material boundaries, protecting your personal belongings. Time boundaries, protecting how your time is used and avoiding misuse of your time. Why is it important to respect someone's personal boundaries? Respecting other people's boundaries helps us build positive and healthy relationships. It also shows that we respect their emotional well-being, their safety, and their individuality. When we respect boundaries, we create an environment of trust and understanding. Now, let's try this activity. On a piece of paper, write down the personal boundaries you have set for yourself. These can be emotional, physical, time-related, or any other type of boundary. After writing, we will have a class discussion. In this discussion, we will talk about why it is important to establish boundaries, follow them, and respect the boundaries of others. Now, class, it's time for our lesson activity. We will do Activity 3, Boundary Exploration. The objective of this activity is for you to identify if you have a healthy boundary with the people around you. First, think of one person in your life with whom you struggle to set boundaries. Write their name on the blank provided. Name one person you struggle to set boundaries with. Next, reflect on your relationship with this person. Look at the following categories of boundaries: emotional, physical, material, and time. For each category, place a check mark in the appropriate column to show how healthy your boundaries are in that area. Synthesis questions. After checking, answer the following questions in complete sentences. 1. What are some specific actions you can take to improve your boundaries? Think of actions like saying no politely when you are not comfortable, explaining clearly what you can and cannot do, limiting time spent with people who drain your energy, asking for respect when someone crosses your limits. 2. How do you think the person you identified will respond to these changes? Consider, will they respect your decision? Will they be surprised or confused at first? Will they push back or will they eventually adjust? 3. How do you think your life will be different once you've established healthy boundaries? Reflect on, will you feel safer and more respected? Will you have more peace of mind and confidence? Will you feel happier and healthier in your relationships? Take your time, reflect carefully, and be honest with your answers. Remember, this activity is for your personal growth and understanding of healthy boundaries. Subtopic 4. Appropriate ways to show affection. Asking for consent before showing affection. Next is about the importance of asking for consent before showing affection. Consent means making sure that the other person agrees with what we want to do. This helps us build respect and trust in our relationships. Let's start with the word consent. When you hear the word consent, what comes to your mind? Think about it for a moment. Now, write down your ideas. Or if you're in class, you can also write your answers on the board. Guided activity. Let's do a fun activity to understand consent better. Everyone, form a circle. I will introduce 2 objects. For example, a ball and a small toy. These objects will go around the circle. Instructions for activity. If you have the ball, you must turn to your neighbor and ask, "Would you like the ball?" If your neighbor says, "Yes, I would like the ball, thank you," they take the ball and ask the next person. If they say, "No, I don't want the ball," you turn to the other side and ask the next person instead. After a while, both objects will be moving around the circle. Let's see what happens when they meet. Don't worry, it might get funny or even a little chaotic, but that's part of the activity. Remember, the important thing is that we always ask first and we always respect the answer. Consent means giving permission or agreement for something to happen. It shows that a person is comfortable and willing with what is being asked or done. This means a person allows it freely because they feel safe and okay with it. In friendships and relationships, consent is about respecting someone's choice to say yes or no. This means we must accept their decision without pressure, whether they agree or not. The importance of asking consent before showing affection. It is important to ask for consent before doing things like hugging, holding hands, or other gestures, because it shows respect for another person's feelings and personal boundaries. When we ask for consent, we prevent discomfort and misunderstandings. We also build trust in our friendships and relationships. Remember, affection should always be freely given and never forced. So, before showing affection, always ask and always respect the answer, whether it's a yes or a no. Now, let's move on to Activity 4, Consent. By the end of this activity, you should be able to identify situations where consent is important and compose proper responses related to giving consent. Here's what you need to do. For each of the following situations, identify if consent was given by writing yes or no. Then, explain your answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Let's go through the situations one by one. Activity 5, Learner's Takeaway. Think back on today's lesson about consent and respect. Now, imagine you are a messenger of kindness and respect. For your friends, what is one idea you want to share with them so they can practice consent in your friendship? For your family, What important reminder can you give them about respecting boundaries at home? For your community, what message can you share that will help everyone live with trust and respect? Reflection on learning. On a piece of paper, answer this question. How does establishing your personal boundary reflect on how you respect yourself? Clues to help you answer. Think about how saying no when you're uncomfortable shows self-respect. Consider how protecting your time, space, and feelings shows that you value yourself. Reflect on how respecting your own boundaries helps others respect you too. Write your answer in 3 to 5 sentences. Be honest and personal in your reflection. All right, class, it's our final activity for today, assessment time. This is your chance to show what you've learned about consent and personal boundaries. Don't worry, it's not about being perfect. It's about giving your best and showing that you understand the lesson. Match column A with column B by writing the letter of the correct answer in your notebook. Think of it like a game of connections. Great job, class! You did amazing today. Always remember, respect, consent, and boundaries are not just words. They're values we live by every day. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you had fun while learning. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more exciting lessons ahead. See you in our next class. Stay kind, stay respectful, and take care. Bye!